Hi, welcome. This is Mrs. Agapov. This is the first page of the team review for Interim 2. This is a video so you can check your work. I'm going to go through this part. It's going to be pretty fast. I'm just going to go over the answers mainly. So if you just wanted to check, then you can stay tuned for the next 3 or 4 minutes. And then after that point, for another probably 5 or 6 minutes, maybe a little bit more, I'll go into the details of this standard, going over some examples or alternate examples, explaining why things the way that they are, putting some notes on the paper that may be useful for your toolkit, just so you know. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so number 1A, it says create a system of 2 equations that has the solution 3, 2 graphed on and graph it here. And what they mean by graph it here, they mean it over here. All right, so 3, 2. 3 is going to be our x value. 2 is going to be our y value. I'm going to start at 0, 0. I'm going to go over 3 and then up 2. And there you go. That's your coordinate point. And they just want you to create any 2 lines that share this coordinate point. So I'm just going to make one line here. Kind of goes through it. It's supposed to go all the way through, but this thing doesn't work very well. And then any other line. So I'm just going to go straight down. That's another line. And these are 2 systems of equations that share the same coordinate point. Done. All right, and moving on to the first part of 1B. All right, so 1B, it says Alexander's heater broke during the coldest part of the year. That sucks. Here are the cost of 3 companies, because, obviously we want to get it fixed because we want to stay warm. So company A charges $15 per hour of work. All right. And then company B charges $5 an hour of work and a one-time fee of $20. Company C charges a one-time fee of $5 and then charges $10 per hour of work. All right, so for company A, I'm going to say that this is going to be y equals, use different colors here, 15 times x. X is the number of hours it worked, y is the total of money that is owed, or that person will make for that number of hours of work. So here, we're going to have y equals, and $5 is how much they get paid per hour, times x, plus, because not only is this company charging a per hour fee, they're also charging a one-time fee, meaning before any work is done, you still owe them money. So if they walk in your door, you owe them $20. All right, company C, you have y equals, and they charge $10 an hour. So for every hour you work, or they work on your water heater or your heater, you have to pay them $10. But just like company B, as soon as they walk into your house, you owe them $10. Okay, so this is what you should have for your equations for the first part of 1B. All right, we're going to need to use these equations to graph. So please make sure that these are on your paper. And I'm going to actually pause here. Please write these down. Okay, and I'm going to move down here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so we can see this graph. I know that on your paper it kind of looks a little funky. The lines might not be so clean and crisp, but just so you know, these lines go up by 5. So the first one is 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. So let's look at the very first line, or company A. Just reference your equations as I do this, because I don't have the room to expand. So first off, company A, there's no one-time fee, So you don't owe them anything if they don't do any of the work. So that's company A. And then after 1 hour, you will owe them $15. So 15, 1 hour. And then for 2 hours of work, you're going to add on $15 to that again. So 32 hours. Add 15 again. You'll be at 45 over 3 hours. All right. And this is your line. Let's see if I can make this nice on here. Ooh. Oh, look at that. That was awesome. Okay, that's my line. This is company A. All right, look at B. Let me use a different color. Company B, as soon as they walk into your door, you owe them money. So that means that at 0 hours, you owe them $20. And then every hour after that, you owe them 5. So at 1 hour, you're going to owe them 25. At 2 hours, you will owe them 30. At 3 hours, you will owe them 35. This color does not look nice on here. Let's try a different one. There we go. Ha. This is company B. Just filling these in. All right, let's see if I can make that line again. Just connect the dots, Miss A. Oh. Ah. All right. That's pretty good. Now, on a test, you'd want to use a ruler. So, do that. So, this is company B. All right, company C. Let me use a different color as well. I think I'll use this pretty pink color. Company C, just like company B, as soon as they walk in your door, you owe them money, and that means that's going to be $5. And then every hour after that, you owe them 10. So, at 1 hour, you owe them 15. At 2 hours, you will owe them 25. And at 3 hours, you will owe them 35. All right. Let's see if I can make another good line. Oh, it's pretty close. Okay. And this one right here is C. All right, but the actual question right down here, it asks at if the job only takes 2 hours, which company should Alexander choose? So if we were to look at 2 right here, 2 hours worth of work, 2 hours worth of work, which line do we hit first? We hit C first, meaning that C, company C, is the cheapest. So your answer should be C. All right, so at this time, if you are good to go, that you just want to check your answers, you can tune into the next video. I'm going to jump into some of the details of the standard. So if you want to understand a little bit about how I got my answer, why I did what I did, this is the part that you should listen to. All right, so I'm going to start with 1. This one in particular, it reads more confusing than it is. But all it's saying is that we want to create a system of 2 linear equations that has the solution of 3, 2. When we talk about systems of linear equations, so systems of linear equations, the term systems is literally meaning it's a set of equations that you deal with at the same time. So a system of equations is a set of equations you deal with at the same time. Or you can say set of equations you graph at the same time. So these might be great for little notes on your interim, so that maybe you can put them onto your toolkit. So systems of equations is a set of equations you graph at the same time. So over here, if we're looking at this, we have 2 equations, or a set of equations that are graphed exactly at the same time. When the instruction asks you, or they say solution of the system, they're specifically talking about the moment in which these equations are equal to each other. So at this point, the linear equations are equal to each other. So linear equations are equal to each other. And what that means is, say that the purple one, I'm going to say this is A, and the green one, is B. Okay. Well, let's say, I'm actually going to change that color because it's not very visible. Let's do red. There we go. There, now you can see that better. All right, let's say B is y equals, I don't know. It's not going to be an actual equation that is that line. I'm just going to give you an example of what I mean by when a linear equations are equal to each other at that one point. Let's say it's 2x plus 3. And the other one is y equals 4x plus 6. Okay. When we say equals to each other at that one point, that means I can set these two equations equal to each other. And when I solve for x, I will get 3 as my shared x value. And then that would give me my y value. So when we say that they are equal to each other at one point, we literally mean the equations are equal to each other at one point. All right, I'm going to move down here. All right. This first one kind of takes you back to 7th grade and the beginning of this year. So when we see company A charges $15 per hour of work, but doesn't give us a one-time fee, that means that this equation is going to be y equals mx. There's no plus b, so there's no y-intercept. All we have are the x and y coordinate values and the slope. So this would be our slope. That's our change in the y over the change in the x. And our y and our x here are any y value and any x value. And I knew from the written here that when we say per hour, that if I wrote that out as my slope, this would be $15 for every 1 hour of work. Okay. And company B and C are set up pretty much the same way. So instead of not having a B value, these are linear equations, meaning that they have it. So, whoops, there we go. Means that their setup is y equals mx plus b. So it looks a lot like the proportional. The first part looks like it. The only thing that's added here is the b, which is the y-intercept. And the one rule about a y-intercept is that x always has to be 0. This is a really good thing that if you wanted to write this down in your interim right now and maybe put onto your toolkit, it would be something I would suggest for all of my students. So x is always 0. Okay. And again, x and y can be any x or y value on the coordinate plane, and then m is always the slope. And that's how x and y change. Okay. All right. And I already kind of went into detail about this one and how I figured out it was C, but just to reiterate, The question asks, the job will take 2 hours. So this bottom, or this x-axis, is the hours, and this is the money here. So if I went to 2 hours and I go all the way up, the first line that I hit is the C, meaning that at 2 hours it's only going to cost the company C $25 versus the $30 that company B and A would charge. So we definitely want to go with company C. Alright, that concludes this video. If you have any questions, please see your teacher. There's also morning math with Miss Alexander. And then I also have some quizzes on Schoology that if you want to test your skills on, you're more than welcome to, and I highly encourage that. Alright, thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.